guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a tutorial on this glitzy bronzy look. I'm living for it. I absolutely love this type of look. You guys know that I did do a matte lip with it though. I wanted to kind of keep it really kind of neutral and bare. You guys know I love the nude lip more than anything. I did get some new products today, so I wanted to kind of play with them. Some new releases from the Balm. I'm going to just show you a couple palettes. This is the What's the Tea palette. This is the hot tea. I think they also have an iced tea. This is the Girl Powder, and it looks like this, and it's best if you open it like this, holding it on the side. It does have a little bit of a learning curve because it's a tin, which opens like that. So I feel like the best way to open this is like this. And that is the palette. So I kind of played in all of those. I also got the Kylie bundle. This is the complete bundle of all of her glosses, so I wanted to try those out. And I also got the Buxom Plump Line lip pencils, which have a fat pencil on one side, and then you got a brush on the other. So just lots of products that I was excited to play with. And this is the look that came out, and I love it. I'm living for this type of look. You guys know that. So if you guys want to see how I got this look and see how the new products kind of perform and wear and all of that, then just keep watching. If you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you guys like the video. It means a lot to me. Mwah. And hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of all of my future uploads. And without further ado, let's get into this bronzy glitzy look. Okay, so I've already went ahead and primed my eyes. I used MAC's Paint Pot in Soft Ochre as always, and I lightly set that primer with a little bit of a bone color shade from one of the palettes that I'm going to be using today. I want to do something a little bit different. We're going to, as always, shade the hood and kind of do the shade and light kind of concept, create the fake crease, map out the shape and all of that, but I want to do it a little bit differently today. I want to use a blending brush to do this with. Normally you guys watch all my videos and you guys know that I always use a winged kind of a liner, angled liner brush. I also know that that's not the most beginner friendly type brush. I remember when I was first starting out, I would watch Nook and she would create these like incredible like winged out, you know, crease, you know, cut creases, winged out line shapes, and using this little Sigma EO6 winged liner brush. And I was like, how is that being done? But at the same time, I understood that building that base and building that foundation was going to be the basis for everything that I wanted to do after that, no matter what eye look it was. So I spent a lot of time doing that. And so now it's easy for me to use these little precise brushes to create the fake crease, but I think it's going to be a little bit easier for you guys going forward, in order, like in terms of like recreating the look is what I'm trying to say, if we do it with this little blending brush. So that is what I am going to do. I posted this on Instagram TV, kind of a drawn out video kind of explaining the whole new technique and all of that. So if you guys are not following me on Instagram, I always link it below. Follow me there so you guys can see makeup hauls, new releases. I always get tons of new stuff, literally like every day, and I'm always posting new makeup. I do little mini tutorials. I do eye looks and all of this like fun stuff that you're just not going to see here on YouTube. So follow me on Instagram if you're not already. All right, so with all of that said, what I want to do is I want to kind of, I'm just going to put in a dot, okay? And that's, I promise, like that's it. Like we're going to use this blending brush for everything going forward, but I'm going to start out with this little winged liner brush as always, and I'm going to go into my normal bronzy transition shade, which I always use the Hoola bronzer or one of whatever bronzer I have on my face for my transition shade. So this is the new Cheek Leaders palette in the Pink Squad, and I'm going to take this one, the Hoola, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look straight ahead. Now I'm going to map this out the exact same way that I've always done, so I'm just going to go through the instruction that I always do. So looking straight ahead, I'm going to find the skin fold or the hood of the eye. I'm going to place a little mark right on the skin fold so I can make sure that when I'm shading the hood that it's up high enough so that when I'm looking straight ahead, I'm going to see that shade. I'm going to see that the hood is shaded because we want to recede it. We want it to, you know, kind of go back. We don't want to bring it forward, so therefore we are shading it. And normally I would create the fake crease using this brush, but today we're going to do it like this. I think this is going to be a lot easier. So for a lot of people, you want to think about like your upper crease. So for example, these two little dots that I have placed here, I'm hoping you guys can see. Those two little dots are about 2 to 3 millimeters, I'm guessing, above my natural crease. So they are right on the hood, right on the skin fold. So now I want to shade that hood. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of bronzer on the M433. And like I said, I can't remember if I said this, but this is also like a MAC 217 or a Sigma E25, this M433. So I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the bronzer. I'm just going to tap off the excess. And I'm going to go right where that line is. And I'm just going to start shading. I'm going to go from the inner corner all the way to the outer corner. And I am just staying in sort of a little half moon shape. I'm just kind of following the curvature of my natural crease, which is right above the eyeball, and I'm just kind of going back and forth. I like to stipple it in. It's something I've been doing for kind of decades. I also like to kind of push that product and kind of press on it and kind of feather it and flick it up. I am not real too big on the normal traditional blending methods of the YouTube videos of the windshield wiper motion. I kind of feel like there's, especially if you have hooded eyes or small eyes, I feel like there's a lot of different ways to kind of blend that make this whole process like easier. And so this is what I do. All right, so now I have kind of shaded this hood. Now I did not take this color onto the lid, and I did not take it, I did not wing it out. If you wanted a winged out shape, you would just create it in sort of a, and just kind of wing it out a little bit. Sometimes I kind of flick it out just like a tiny bit. So something that you guys will always kind of see me do is I kind of go back and forth a lot. I don't do all my crease shades and then go into my lid. I kind of start out with mapping out the shape in the socket and just kind of get that crease going and built, and then I will map out my lid space, and then sometimes I go back in and deepen and darken up the crease. I kind of go back and forth. So before I kind of map out the lid space, I do want to add a little bit more depth and dimension into the crease, and I want to get my inner corner shading going on. You guys know that I'm really into this Kylie Jenner effect. She always has this little shading going on the inner corner, and it's just kind of feathered out to the end. And so this is kind of how I get it. I'm going to use a MAC 224 and pick up a little bit more of that bronzer, and I'm just going to kind of swirl this color on the inner corner. I'm keeping in alignment with the brow. I'm also going to take a little bit of it down to the nose contour just to kind of tie everything together. I'm also going to brush this up towards the brow because I feel like it just kind of softens that whole area. So I'm just shading this inner corner, and then I'm going to drag a little bit of it out towards the end. It will always mesh with the bronzer that I have going on out here because I'm always wearing a bronzer. So I'm just going to use the side of the brush to feather that out. And now I want to use some of my new balm products. So I'm going to go into this new palette, which is called Day to Night. I just got this stuff today. I'm super excited to play in all of my balm products. So I'm going to take a little bit of this shade right here, Las Vegas, on this E40 blending brush. And this is going to be kind of like a blending tool shade, but also going to be my brow bone shade. And I'm going to just lightly swirl this up here in the brow bone area, hitting a little bit of the transition shade that is also coming out here, so it kind of meshes together and just kind of looks a little airbrushed and really seamless. I like everything to kind of flow together, and so it just looks a little airy out there. So that's kind of the look that I'm going for when it comes to out here. I don't like a lot of shadow out there. Really kind of airy. and airbrushed. All right, I'm getting that really soft socket look, and that is what I want. I'm going to start to map out my lid space now, and I like to keep everything kind of in the upper crease or kind of above that fake crease line that I created. I'm not going below because that's going to be my lid space. I keep it nice and clean, so I don't necessarily always have to cut the crease with concealer. I'm going to go ahead and map it out using this bone shade right here. And I always take it a little higher. I also take it kind of on the inner corner. I like a little bit more of a dramatic look. So I tend to go in a little farther and I go up a little bit. I sort of cheat my lid space a little bit so I get the illusion that I have a lot bigger lid space than I have. So I don't know if I mentioned, but right here where you can kind of push in, like right underneath your socket bone, because like all of the shading that we were doing is pretty much like right on this socket bone right here. You can feel that bone. It is like literally like directly above your lid space. So this area right here where I am like pushing in, like right here, this is all like my lid space. So this is what I'm using for my lid space. So I am really carving out a large lid space. I like a little bit more of a dramatic look as opposed to, say, just going like from your tear duct kind of inward. I am really kind of extending that more inward and up higher. And I'm going to pick up just a tiny bit of this bronzer from the Girl Powder palette, one of the new balm products. I'm going to take this shade right here, Bleaker. It's a bronzer. I'm still working with the M433 because I'm just going to take such a little bit and it's not that deep of a color, so I'm going to stick with this brush. And now that I have my lid space kind of mapped out, now I'm going to take this right on the socket bone, right, and I'm just going to, I'm not going to go in as far or up as high and out here as I did with the bronzer, the Hoola bronzer. I'm taking this bronzer. I'm going to lean back a little bit so that I can see my socket line, and I'm going to just kind of go in a little, like I normally do, like a little half moon shape, basically just kind of following the natural curvature of my eye shape, just kind of little half moon shape, just kind of taking it a little bit lower and just kind of shading that area, just making it a little bit deeper corner. All right, now that that is where I want it, I'm going to take my Sigma E40 and I'm just going to do a little extra blending out here. Normally I use my JH36 blending up brush for this step, but I happen to have the Sigma E40 right here, so that is what I'm doing. And I realized that I forgot to put on my tape. I really wanted to do the tape method today just to kind of illustrate again how that really just helps to keep everything lifted. All right, so why not? I think I'm going to do it. So because I really want it, I like the effect that I get when I do the winged liner with this tape, so why not? So we want to line it up with the edge of the nostril right there to the end of where the lower lash line is, and kind of evens out with the brow. We want to keep in that alignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that bronzer and I'm going to start at my lower lash line, and I'm going to kind of create a little line going straight up. And that is where I'm going to place my tape. This method just works really well for me and really helps me to know where to precisely place my tape. Honestly, I just like the effect that I get from the tape, because I really want to do a kind of a dramatic but a soft dramatic look today, what I have in mind for a really pretty bronzy look. And I want to do a smoked wing, and I just get that look better with tape. So now that I have this mapped out as my template, I'm going to go in. I'm using paper tape. You guys can use whatever tape you have. So I'm just going to, I love this tape method, honestly, because it just really gives me that lifted effect. Place it on the back of your hand, take it off a couple of times, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this tape. Spritz this brush with just a little bit of the MAC Fix Plus. I don't want to get it too damp. And I'm going to take, I think I'm going to do this shade first because it's so stunning. This is the Ultra Metallic Super Shock. This is in the shade In Access. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this, kind of start on the outer corner and kind of take it halfway, and then I'm going to go in with this shade in the front half of the lid. So I'm going to start like out here. Oh, it's so beautiful. And these shadows you can apply with your finger, you can apply with a brush. All right, so now I'm going to go into this shade, and this one is the Shadow Tie-Dye Super Shock, a formula called Chase the Light. I'm telling you, all of these are just so stunning, and they go on just so brilliant. Honestly, like, I don't like pressed glitter formulas. I just don't like to work with them. I like glitter, but I'm not a big fan of like a pressed glitters. If I'm going to use glitter, I prefer to dip a little bit of the mixture and the glitter kind of like in the Petri tray and kind of apply it that way. So I don't like pressed glitters, but I love this formula, and I love the Ultra Glitter formula as well as the Ultra Metallics. I almost get more shine on a metallic kind of than I do with like pressed glitters, which is not my favorite formula to work with. All right, so I just noticed that it is written right here, 99 problems, but my shadow ain't one. This is the ColourPop Vault. That one is on the back of, I think, this one, Chase the Light. So, all right, you know, it's not uncommon to kind of change directions at the 11th hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz a little bit more MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to pick up just a tiny bit more of this as a lighter shade. And I'm going to cover the inner corner. Get that nice and bright. And I want to use this. I think I may do this. I want to put this. I want to just see where this is going to go, because this one has a lot of brightness and bronzy pop. So I think I'm just going to put a little bit of that over that. And I feel like that will make, yeah, that's what I was missing. That right there. All right. And I know exactly where I'm going with this. I know exactly now where I'm going with this look. I want to get it a little bit more bronzy. Just a tiny bit more. And putting that lighter shade underneath just made this pop even more in the inner corner. Stunning. All right, I'm going to take my angled liner brush now, and I'm going to grab this one, and I'm just going to kind of clean up the edge, just kind of get it all nice. And all right, so now I know exactly where I'm going. I'm going to take this shade right here. I'm going to pop this on the inner corner, and then we're going to go in with this as the crease shade. So now I'm at the point where I'm ready to put in my final and my deepest crease shade so that I get the majority of my depth right between the lid right here and right between my bronzer crease shade. I want there to be a real something kind of deep in there because I like that contrast from dark to light. All right, I'm kind of pressing this upward a little bit, like towards out here, so that the line isn't kind of dragged out to the bottom. I'm just kind of lightly kind of floating that up there, because I don't like the dark colors kind of out at the edge. So I think I took it down a little too far, so I'm just buffing that up. And now I'm just kind of blending that away. All right, so now it's time to do my winged liner. I love the tape for this method. It gives me such a really pretty look. I'm going to use two different brushes. I'm going to use this angled brush, and then I'm going to use this a flat definer brush to stamp the liner on the root of the lash line right there. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to go into this jet black. This is the Kylie Bronze palette. So I'm going to take the black, and the way that I always start this is almost kind of towards the end, and I actually like doing a little bit of a not necessarily a thicker wing, but I like using shadow because I feel like it just gives it a softer look than like using like a gel liner. I do like this for a couple different reasons. If you have downturned eyes, doing a little wing out here will help kind of give it a lift. So I always go lighter and thinner on the inner corner, and then it gets a little thicker as I go towards the outer corner. So I always start this kind of about 2/3 of the way back, and I draw a straight line. Hoping you guys can see. Draw a straight line all the way to the tape. And then I take another line, meeting from my lower lash line, straight up so that they kind of meet. And then I just kind of fill in that area. So I'm going to close my eyes, and because I can't really talk during this step, so. All right, now I'm going to take my flat definer brush, and I'm going to stamp the root, and I'm going to take it to the inner corner. I just did a little bit of an inner corner highlight using that light balm shade, and now I am touching up with some Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the shade Midnight Cowboy, and I'm just kind of lightly, sporadically kind of placing this kind of in the front half. So I'm not doing anything heavy, I'm just doing a little light dusting, and it is just so stunning. All right, now I think I'm ready to remove the tape and do my lower lash line. Oh, I'm gonna have to touch up my face. Ooh, so pretty. All right, time to take the tape away. Oh, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. Oh. All right, now I'm going to do my lower lash line, and I'm basically just going to put in the colors that I used up on top. I'm going to start with the bronzer shade, and then I'm going to work toward the darker brown shades. I'm going to stamp a little bit of the black just right on the root of the lower lash line and just kind of wiggle it a little bit so that it kind of connects with the winged liner right here. I'm going to pop this nude liner now right on my waterline right here. All right, so I'm going to finish with the Ambient Lighting. This is volume 4, and I'm going to go into the shade right here, which is just their diffused lighting finishing powder, and I'm just going to do a light dusting. I literally get their palettes like every year. But this year, volume 4 was like amazing. It was better than like last year's. But I like the year before. That one was a good one as well. All right, time for lips. All right, guys, so I completely forgot. I got the Kylie Complete bundle set of glosses. I mean, I think there's more shades than this, obviously, but I think, how many did I get? 7 came in this, like, complete bundle. So I want to use one of these bronzy shades since we're doing a bronzy look, and then I may have to lighten it up with one of the lighter shades if it's too dark. So I'm anxious to try this formula. So, oh, it's a very large doe foot applicator. And this is the shade, what is the shade? This is Yes Girl. Yes Girl. All right, so let's try this and see how this is going to go. Oh, I will say these glosses are smooth like a butter. They do not feel sticky at all. I'm not getting a whole lot of color from them. Put a little thicker application on. So I feel like the, it is beautiful. It's a beautiful, like, glassy pop, but it's not sticky as in terms of like MAC's, you know, like MAC lip gloss. It's not sticky and tacky like that. It's just smooth and sheer. You know, I feel like there's a little bit of a sheen in terms of like the color, but it doesn't change like what you have going on underneath as a base. I mean, that's just kind of the feeling that I'm getting with these, with this particular color. All right, I'm a hot mess. I decided I didn't want the gloss, so I wiped it off, and I went back in with both of my Buxom Plump liners here. And now I feel ready to spray the face. All right, I'm using the new Anastasia Dewy Set, and I'm actually going to spray this way. Got my fan here. Whew. All right, guys, that completes the look. I'm telling you, I am all about these bronzy looks. I am just living for it. It is just a stunning look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I will see you in my next one. Bye.